Welcome. I have a question for you today. Why do you think Lent, the season of Lent, L-E-N-T, is important to Christians? I wonder why it's important to each of us on a personal level. Well, I have brought some food for thought for you to learn a little more about the tradition of Lent. Now, long ago, the church leaders decided they wanted to do something for their members to help them kind of feel what it was like to give up something. What they were trying to do on a small scale was to get people to identify with Jesus, to think about what Jesus had to give up. Like Jesus gave up his life for us so that we could be forgiven our sins and live with God forever. But on a small scale, they thought maybe food is the way to get through to our people and help them remember. So today, I have brought some food for thought. You see, Lent begins on Ash Wednesday, which was this past Wednesday, and it's for 40 days, all the way up into Easter. But we do two things to get ready for Lent. So the church leaders came up with what they called Collop Monday. Collop? What is a collop? I bet most of you have never even heard of that word. Collop Monday. Well, a collop is really just a piece of meat, a strip of meat, kind of like a strip of bacon. So what they reasoned was, we take all of the meat out of the house, all of our bacon out of the house. We give it up for Lent. You couldn't have any meat in your house for 40 days, not until Easter. Now, if you were a bacon lover, this would really be hard to do. Wouldn't you hate to give up bacon if you love bacon? But the idea was to think about what you felt when you gave up something, what Jesus felt like when he gave up his life. Now, they also decided that they would start a Fat Tuesday. Some of you have heard this called Mardi Gras, which is the French for Fat Tuesday or Shrove Tuesday. And they decided that they would take all of the fats out of the house. They would take things like eggs and cheese and butter. You had to give up butter and milk. All of these things. Now, you should note that the milk and the eggs and the butter, those are all ingredients that we use to make pancakes. Do you know that some churches on Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras have a pancake supper? And that is to remind us that we need to take all the fats out of our house. We can't bring them back in until Easter. Now, if you were a breakfast lover like I know Keegan Whalen is, in fact, Keegan loves breakfast so much that he told me that if Jesus were to come to his house, the most special meal he would fix for him would be breakfast. Imagine how hard this would be for Keegan to give up all of these things for 40 days. Wow. All of these things are food for thought to help us think about what it feels like to give up something. Do you know I have a friend who loves chocolate candy. In fact, she eats a piece of chocolate candy every single day, except the 40 days of Lent. And she gives that up so that she can feel what it's like to give something up. But you know what? Something good comes out of it. Because since she doesn't eat the sugary candy, she loses a couple of pounds. So something good can come up out of something that might be painful. Kind of like Easter comes out of Lent. Food for thought. Now I have one other item in here. It's not food, it's soap. You're thinking, soap? What has that got to do with anything? Well, it helps us learn about Ash Wednesday. Did you know that way back when they were first making soap, that they used ashes, which is nothing more than just burnt wood, and they put it in the mixture. And of course, soap is used for cleaning our houses and our clothes, and of course, ourselves, kind of washing away the dirt. Which reminds me, Jesus, he gave up everything and so that we could be forgiven our sins. Now, you know, we all have to say we're sorry sometimes for things that we do, but when we're forgiven, it gives us a fresh start. It kind of cleanses us. Now, the ashes that we use on Ash Wednesday look like this. Now, the ashes were made from palms that we used on Palm Sunday a couple of years ago. I bet some of you were participants in the Palm Sunday parade. You probably wave palms high. Well, we take those and we fire them up and we make them into ashes. And then, you know what? The minister will take these ashes and they'll put them in a little bowl and they will add a little oil. And they will stir it around and they will make kind of what I call a Lenten finger paint. Okay? And so once they got it on their thumb, they would make the sign of the cross on a forehead, or they might make the sign of a cross on the back of a person's hand. So when you looked down at your hand and saw the cross, you would go, oh yeah, Jesus died on the cross for me. He gave up his life for me. Makes you think, right? Well, all of these things are food for thought, and I hope it will help you remember to perhaps give up something so you know how it feels, and to remember Jesus, because Lent is a time to think and remember.